The nickel is for the colonial ships. Closest any of them or any of us is gonna get to that grand life off-world. So come on now. What sort do you have in mind? Because I got all kinds.
I'm not buying.
No. This is just my game, and I play it fair. No. I mean, bigger than you. Bigger than you were trying to shut me down. Bigger than you, and they were men at that.
Could you see a path to a sequel in the years in between, or...?
Never thought about it. I mean, when the film was over, I never had a thought that there might be a continuation of the story. It wasn't until about 3 years ago I got a call from Ridley Scott asking if in theory I'd be interested in playing the character again. And I said, what do you have? Do you have a script? He said, no, but I have this novella that he developed with one of the original writers, Hampton Francher, to serve as an exercise before they tackled the script. And he sent that over, and I saw my future. I saw what I thought was a really good job in a movie that, while it was a continuation of some of the storylines in the original, could also be a standalone job. And I saw a great part for this guy. And I proposed that to the producers, and they said, we've been thinking about it for months. We've been talking to him for months. He's the man.
I don't think they said that last part.
No, they said that he's the fella.
They said he's the fella.
Did you take much persuading?
No, it's obviously it's such a rich, incredible cinematic world that they created. I was a fan of it, anyway, and then to be offered an opportunity to enter that world was exciting. But more than that, reading the script, it's such a rich, original story with so many interesting character dynamics and new concepts, and it was a no-brainer.
How much did you know about Blade Runner before you were approached about the film?
The original Blade Runner? I knew about the movie, yeah, and I knew how big it was and what it meant and why, it's such an iconic film, and it has even, gotten even more important with the years. Yeah. That's what I knew.
Yeah, it was very, I think, life-changing for a lot of people. I've overheard Denise saying in an interview, he said it was the movie that made him believe as a younger boy, or I don't know how old he exactly was, as a boy or a young man, that he would actually be able to make films, that would be possible for him as a human being to do. So that it created a whole new path of possibilities for him that, became his life. It's insane. So I think a lot of people, connect to that film. Is it fashion? Is it cinema people? Is it just audience? So it's for me, the connection was mostly Rutger Hauer. He's Dutch, and he played Roy Batty, and he did it so phenomenally. So for me, that was for us Dutch people, a very small country, big part of our cinematic, history.
From everything we've seen of the film so far, it looks enormous. Was it enormous to be on the set?
Some of the sets were enormous, and they reflect the sort of environments of the very privileged. And then some of the sets were not so enormous. They were, reflected a squalid condition under which many of the people were living. So these visual imagination, these visual imaginings that were the sets are really storytelling devices, not just interesting visuals. And when they're lit by our great cinematographer, it's a pleasure. It really helps an actor to understand what it sounds like when your feet hit the floor. How big a room is it? Where does the sound come back off the walls? It just makes it real for you. And one of the things that the director worked hard to do was to give us a real physical environment rather than asking us to sit against a green screen and make stuff up in our minds. It gave us real stuff to work with.
It was incredible. It was really, I think it was a gift for us to have the chance to really walk into that universe. And it was very, you could feel it in your skin, you could feel the humidity, the rain, the cold, and then you could touch things. We were free to improvise. We knew anything we would do, it was gonna work. You push a button, something's gonna happen, like it was really real, and you just have to focus on looking at your partner's eyes and then, be creative and be present. It was really magic.
Yeah, I agree. It was, the sets were so spectacular. I remember, we used to talk about it, the actors amongst ourselves, like, what do you think this next set would look like, right? And everybody had their ideas because we read the script, but then you would think, coming onto set, you'd think, oh, my ideas are so cliche. You'd feel almost like, what? How is this supposed to be coming from somebody's head?
Well, that was
so
fascinating. I
overwhelming.
remember one day I walked into Dennis Gosling, our production designer's office, and you could see the whole movie in little pictures. And you could tell that it was crazy how he came up with all that, in his head. You could follow the whole story in little pictures, so it was unbelievable.
How was Denis to work with on the set? Because obviously it's a huge undertaking.
It was really a pleasure to work with him. It was impressive to watch how he walked this razor's edge between being faithful to the original and carrying out the narrative and the themes and tones that had already existed in that world, and also, make his own film and create his own characters and dynamics and new concepts. It was a really impressive thing to watch, and he's very collaborative, and he's really, you're lucky to get to work with him.
He's clear and present.
Mm-hmm. And
dangerous.
Yeah, he's dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Canadian danger.
He's a Canadian.
And now, for having done this, do you think this is the closing chapter, or do you think this is opening up into a whole new world of possibilities?
I think there's no telling. No telling. I have no sense of that at all. And by the way, I'm not worried. What will be, will be.
The key to the future is finally unearthed. Bring it to me. They know you're here.
I always told you, you're special. Your story isn't over yet. There's still a page left.